Hello, children. This is Manish Yadav, your English teacher. Today, we'll do the second part of this chapter, that is the little girl. The little girl, as we were discussing about a little child who was afraid of her father because she does not come in the touch of her father, to be frank, because her father looks her as a Gant, having a sinister personality, and that is why she does not come to her father. What happens next in this story? Let us know. For the recap of the story, as Kezia was suggested by her grandmother to make and represent a gift on the occasion of upcoming birthday of her father, to represent a pin cushion. So what happened next? Did she represent a gift to her father on that occasion? What did she do? Let us know further. Laboriously, with a double cotton, the little girl stitched three sides. But what to fill it with? That was the question. Laboriously, with lots of effort and difficulty, Kezia collected a double cotton cloth and she stitched three sides of it. But what to fill with it? That was the problem. She was thinking what to fill in it. The grandmother was out in the garden and there was nobody at home at all. Kezia's grandmother was wandering in the garden outside, and she could not take help of her grandmother. Neither she could take help of her mother nor grandmother, because both were not available there. And she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps. Thereafter, she decided to visit her mother's bedroom to collect some scraps to fill it with. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine papers, gathered them up and tore them into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case, then sewed up the fourth side. What happened? Kezia went in the room of her mother. She discovered for some scraps. She did not find that. Thereafter, she went to the table and she found many sheets of fine papers. There were many sheets of fine papers on the table. She gathered all the papers from the table and she tore them into tiny pieces, small pieces, and she stuffed her case. Thereafter, she sewed up the fourth side of the cushion. Now, let us move towards the next paragraph. That night, there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Rooms were searched, servants questioned. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. Kezia, I suppose you did not see some papers on the table in our room? Oh, yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. What happened when Kezia tore all the pages of fine papers? Those papers were very significant and having a great value, because Those were the papers of port authority, and it belongs to her father. And you know well that she is afraid of her father. Even thinking about her father is to think about a Gant. She was afraid of shouting and punishment. She was afraid of to be scolded. What happened next? That night, there was a hue and cry in the house. Her father was shouting and he was searching or looking for the papers. Those papers that were tore by Kezia. Father's great speech for the port authority. As I told you, those papers were very useful and valuable for the port authority, had been lost. There was no papers. There was not a single sheet of those papers left in the room because everything was stored by Kezia. Rooms were searched. They were searching here and there in the rooms. They were asking so many questions to the servants. Finally, but eventually, Kezia's mother came into Kezia's room and she asked, Kezia, I suppose you did not see some papers on the table in our room. Could you please tell me if you have seen some papers on the table in my room? Kezia replies, Oh, yes, Mom. I tore them off for my surprise. What's a great problem? Finally, Kezia's courage, she tells the truth that I tore them off for my surprise. What was the surprise? What was the surprise? The surprise was that she had to represent a pincushion as gift on the occasion of her father. Okay, as she was suggested by her grandmother, she tore all the pages and filled those papers in 4-corned cushion. What? Did you tear them up? Come straight down. Now her mother got angry and she ordered her to come at that very moment downstairs. Now, I hope it would be clear to all the students. Let us go through the 6th paragraph. And she was dragged down to where father was passing to and fro, hands behind his back. And Kezia was dragged. Kezia was taken where her father was pacing to and fro. Kezia's hands were behind and her father's hand were behind his back. Well, he said sharply. Mother explained everything what Kezia told her. That this little child has tore all the pages to make a cushion. And it is the gift that she wants to represent you on your birthday. He stopped and stared at the child. Kezia's father stopped. He became calm and began to stare at the child. Did you do that? No, she whispered. Kezia. Hesitantly and fearfully, she replies negatively. No, मैंने नहीं किया. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damn thing. Mother. Kezia's father, requests her mother to bring that damn thing that Kezia prepared. See that the child's put the bed this instant. Okay, go and search it for. Kezia has kept it on the bed. Now, para number 7. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room, watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. I am going to beat you for this, he said. Oh no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. She pulled them aside. Sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. You must be taught once for all not to touch what does not belong to you. Crying too much. Her father, Kezia's father, was shouting too much at Kezia because she has stored very valuable and useful, very significant papers of her father that were belonging to the port authority. She lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light. Kezia was lying there watching the evening light and make sad little pattern on the floor, and she was so sad on that day because she was scolded by her father. What happened next to her? Then father came into the room of Kezia with a ruler in his hands. Kezia was lying. Her father came in that room where she was lying, and her father was having a ruler in his hand. Now he says that I am going to beat you for this. Okay. He tells Kezia that he was going to punish her for that mistake, for that what she did. Oh no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. Kezia became so afraid of ruler, and she began to cry. She screamed a lot, and she tries to hide. She tries to lurk herself under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. Kezia's father pulled them aside. And sit up, he ordered. Kezia's father ordered Kezia to sit up and hold your hands out. Okay. And he orders Kezia to stretch both palm of hers, and he also advised her to be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. She should never touch anything that does not belong to her, and this must be a strict instruction to all the little children because they do not understand the value of anything. Okay, they break it up and thereafter they require for another. So he strictly ordered Kezia not to touch anything that does not belong to her, but it was for your birthday, daddy. Kezia fearfully replies that, Papa, I made it for your birthday. I made it for your birthday, and it was a surprise that I wanted to give you on the occasion of your birthday. And down came the ruler on her little pink palms. Now, her father, beats Kezia on her little pink palms, soft as velvet. She was fearful with his father what she did because it was useful and very valuable papers. But what happens next? Let us know in 8th paragraph. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. Hours later, after hours later, when grandmother had wrapped, covered Kezia's with a shawl, it is a kind of costumes, rocked her in the rocking chair, and she was sitting in the rocking chair. The child clung to her soft body. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed. Kezia was murmuring and whispering to her grandmother that why has God made fathers for? पापाओं को भगवान ने क्यों बनाया है? Now here's a clean hanky. Darling, blow your nose. Go to sleep. Pet, you will forget all about it in the morning. Now grandmother advises Kezia to forget all about and everything
and she also advises to go for sleeping, and now you will forget everything in the morning. I tried to explain to her father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. I refers to grandfather of Kezia, and she tries to explain everything to her father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. Because those were very valuable, papers for the port authority. That's why he was not agree to listen anything about that. So, but the child never forgot. Next time she saw him quickly, and she put both hands behind her back, and the red color flew into her cheeks. Whenever Kezia sees her father, she keeps her hands behind because she was punished and beaten on her, soft velvet palm. That is why she kept her hands behind her back, and a red color flew into her cheeks, and she becomes afraid of her father and punishment. That's it for this episode. Next we would know in the next video of this chapter. So wish you all the best and keep practicing and learning until the next video. That's it.